The star system was dead. Once, it had been home to thriving alien colonies, its planets glowing with the lights of millions of lives. Now, only darkness remained. The central star had burned down to a cold ember, and the silence of space stretched endlessly around shattered worlds. Among the drifting asteroids, pieces of wreckage glimmered faintly, catching the pale light. But these were no ordinary wrecks. They were warships, vast, terrifying vessels belonging to a once-proud alien empire. Their hulls were carved with ancient runes, symbols of dominance and power. Once, these ships had ruled the galaxy, feared by countless species. Now, they floated broken and lifeless, their engines torn apart, their weapons shattered. An entire fleet, hundreds of ships, had been annihilated. A small, sleek scout vessel emerged from hyperspace, gliding carefully into the debris field. Its glowing blue thrusters were the only source of light in the dark system. Inside, the alien crew moved nervously, whispering in low, fearful voices. "By the stars," one of them muttered, staring at the twisted wreck of a massive battleship. This was the 9th Imperial Fleet. Another said, its voice trembling. The Emperor's own warriors. They were supposed to be invincible. The commander, an older alien with sharp, crown-like horns, remained silent for a moment. His 4 golden eyes scanned the wreckage, his jaw tightening. Finally, he spoke, his voice low and heavy. "Nothing is invincible." The crew fell silent, as if the very idea of their empire's defeat was too dangerous to speak aloud. As the scout ship drifted deeper into the graveyard, they saw signs of a battle unlike any other. Alien ships had been sliced apart with surgical precision, their hulls cut so cleanly it seemed like a god's blade had struck them. Others had been blown apart from within, their reactors detonated by sabotage. Even the colossal dreadnought, the Emperor's Fist, a ship the size of a small moon, lay in 2 shattered halves, its core completely destroyed. The crew's fear grew with every passing moment. Who could do this?" whispered a young officer, his voice breaking. "No single empire has ever brought us to our knees," another added. "Not in 10,000 years of rule." The commander's eyes narrowed. He had heard rumors. Dark whispers carried through the galaxy like a plague. A name, spoken only in secret. A new species, small and fragile, but dangerous beyond comprehension. He turned to his crew, his voice a cold whisper. "This is not the work of any empire we know. This is them." "Them?" a crew member asked. "Who are you talking about?" The commander's jaw clenched as he finally spoke the name. "The humans." The crew flinched as it struck. Even in the farthest reaches of space, stories of humans had spread. Stories of a species that rose from a single, insignificant world. Stories of creatures who fought like demons, who adapted to any enemy, and who never, ever surrendered. The young officer shook his head, refusing to believe it. Humans? That's just a myth. A story to scare children. The commander's eyes glowed faintly as he hissed. "Does this look like a story to you?" He gestured at the battlefield outside. The shattered fleet, the Empire's greatest pride, was proof enough. Suddenly, the ship's sensors crackled to life. A sharp, urgent alarm echoed through the bridge. "Commander!" a technician cried. "Something's here. I'm picking up movement in the debris." The crew's panic spiked. Through the viewport, a shadow glided between the wrecks. It was fast, impossibly fast, weaving through the floating hulks like a predator stalking its prey. The scout ship's lights caught a brief glimpse of it, a small, dark vessel, completely unlike anything they had seen before. Its design was simple, almost crude, but there was a terrible elegance to it. The alien technician's hands trembled as he analyzed the readings. It's tiny, barely 1/10 the size of our ship, but its engine signature, it's off the charts. The commander's throat went dry. He had heard of these ships in hushed reports. "A human raider," he whispered. The crew froze. Their empire's massive warships had fallen to these small, deadly predators. The mysterious ship darted closer, its dark hull reflecting no light. Suddenly, all of the scout ship systems went dark. The lights flickered out. The hum of the engines died. Panic erupted on the bridge. "They've disabled our power." "We're sitting ducks." The young officer screamed. "Why aren't they firing on us?" The commander understood. This wasn't an attack. It was a message. The humans didn't need to destroy them to spread fear. They wanted them alive to tell the story. As the alien crew huddled together in terror, the dark ship vanished into the shadows, leaving only silence and a chilling sense of dread. The commander slowly sank into his chair, his voice hollow. "It's worse than I feared. They don't fight for glory or conquest. They fight to win." He stared at the broken dreadnought outside, the final resting place of their empire's pride. And they have already won. The camera pans out, showing the entire battlefield, a graveyard of alien ships stretching for miles. A faint, eerie whisper echoes through the silence, as if carried by the void itself. "Beware the humans." The screen fades to black. Bold white letters appear. "When humanity outmatches alien civilizations." Long before the dead battlefield and the shattered fleets, there was only curiosity. 200 years earlier, the great alien empire had ruled almost every corner of the galaxy. Its starships crossed the void freely, its banners planted on countless worlds. For thousands of years, no new species had risen to challenge them. The empire's rulers believed they had seen it all, conquered it all, and understood it all. But then, deep space scouts discovered something strange, a small blue planet orbiting a yellow star. The planet's surface was full of water and green landmasses, teeming with life. And among that life was a new, intelligent species. They called themselves humans. When the alien scientists first observed Earth, they were unimpressed. The humans were small compared to many galactic species, fragile creatures of bone and soft flesh. Their ships were primitive, barely able to reach their own moon. Their weapons were crude, projectiles, fire, and explosives. To the Empire, humans were insignificant, barely worth studying. An alien observer recorded his thoughts in a report to the High Council. "The creatures are weak, their technology centuries behind ours. They lack natural armor, strong claws, or any form of biological defense. They will never be a threat." The High Council laughed when they read the report. To them, humans were insects, interesting to watch, but harmless. Still, the Empire decided to keep watching. Hidden observation ships were stationed in Earth's orbit, cloaked so humans could not detect them. The aliens watched as humans fought endless wars with one another, building cities, destroying them, and building again. The humans were violent, yes, but to the aliens, it was just meaningless chaos. "Look at them," an alien scientist sneered, watching a human battlefield through a holographic display. "They destroy their own kind more than they destroy anything else. They'll wipe themselves out before they ever reach the stars." But the scientist was wrong. Humans did not wipe themselves out. Instead, war drove them to adapt, learn, and innovate. Every conflict made them stronger. Their weapons grew more powerful, their machines more advanced, their strategies sharper. And soon, humanity began to dream of the stars. The first time humans launched a crude, slow starship beyond their home system, the alien observers were amused. "How adorable," one alien officer chuckled. "Like children taking their first steps." But there was something the aliens failed to notice. Humans were driven by curiosity and survival, not arrogance. Every failure became a lesson. Every success became a foundation for the next step. Within only a few generations, a blink of an eye by galactic standards, humanity transformed from a planetary civilization to a spacefaring species. They built colonies on nearby worlds, mining asteroids and terraforming barren planets. Their ships were still primitive compared to the Empire's, but their progress was astonishingly fast. The Alien High Council began to grow uneasy. "They are advancing too quickly," one council warned. "No species has evolved as fast without external help." The Emperor, a towering figure with silver skin and blazing eyes, dismissed the concern with a wave of his hand. "They are nothing more than clever animals. Even if they reach the stars, they will never match our power." The council obeyed, but whispers of doubt spread through the Empire. Some began to secretly study human behavior more closely, and what they discovered was terrifying. Unlike most galactic species, humans had no natural weapons. No claws, no fangs, no armor. Their physical bodies were weak compared to the Empire's soldiers. But they had something far more dangerous: adaptability. A human dropped on a frozen world would learn to survive in the cold. A human stranded on a desert planet would find water, build shelter, and endure the heat. They could live anywhere, fight anywhere, and turn any environment into a weapon. One alien researcher described them this way. Other species evolve slowly, shaped by their worlds. But humans shape the world around them. They are not bound by their biology. They are bound only by their will. The Empire decided to test humanity directly. A small alien strike team secretly attacked a human mining colony in the outer reaches of their territory. The aliens expected the humans to flee in terror. Instead, the colonists fought back with improvised weapons and traps. Even when outnumbered and outgunned, the humans refused to surrender. The alien commander reported back in disbelief. They do not fear death as we do. They fight harder the closer they are to defeat. The High Council ignored the warning. They believed it was just an anomaly, a minor skirmish of no importance. To them, humans were still too primitive to matter. But over the next 50 years, those primitive humans kept growing stronger. Their ships became faster, their weapons deadlier, their colonies more secure. Every time they encountered an obstacle, they overcame it. Finally, humanity made direct contact with the Empire. A human exploration ship stumbled upon an alien listening post. The aliens revealed themselves at last, expecting awe and submission. Instead, the humans greeted them with curiosity and cautious diplomacy. At first, there was peace. Trade began. Information was shared. The aliens believed they could control humanity through manipulation, keeping them as useful but inferior partners. But as the humans learned more about galactic politics and alien technology, they adapted once again. They copied what they saw, improved it, and even created inventions the Empire had never imagined. For the first time in thousands of years, the Empire felt threatened. Late one night, the Emperor stood alone in his grand hall, staring at a holographic image of Earth. His silver face was calm, but his hands trembled. "We should have destroyed them when we had the chance," he whispered. "Now, it may already be too late." But his advisors still underestimated humanity. They laughed at his fears, dismissing humans as a passing annoyance. They were wrong. The humans were no longer just a young species reaching for the stars. They were preparing for war. The Empire believed it had time. Time to watch, to plan, to prepare. But they didn't understand how quickly humans could change. Other species of the galaxy advanced slowly. An invention might take centuries to spread across a world. A new weapon design might remain unchanged for 1,000 years. The Empire itself had grown comfortable, trapped in its own traditions. Their fleets were powerful, yes, but their designs had remained the same for generations. Their commanders fought battles by ancient doctrines, never questioning the past. Humanity was different. Humans thrived on change. Within just a few decades, human science exploded. They studied alien technology carefully, breaking it apart, improving it, and rebuilding it in ways even the Empire's engineers couldn't imagine. What they couldn't buy, they stole. What they couldn't steal, they reinvented. In hidden shipyards scattered across their colonies, humanity began to construct warships of their own. They were not beautiful, elegant vessels like the Empire's gleaming dreadnoughts. No, human ships were practical, designed with one purpose: victory. Their hulls were rough and angular. Their weapon systems were brutal and efficient. And unlike the massive, expensive ships of the Empire, human warships were cheap to build and easy to replace. While the Empire boasted of quality, humanity mastered quantity, but not in the way the Empire expected. Every single human ship was built with adaptability in mind. They could swap out weapon systems, adjust their engines to different environments, and upgrade their shields within weeks instead of centuries. The Empire laughed at first. "Look at these primitive designs," an alien admiral sneered, examining captured images of a human destroyer. "They look like cargo haulers with guns strapped on." But that laughter began to fade when human ships started winning battles. The first clash came at the Outer Rim border, where a patrol of 3 Imperial cruisers intercepted a single human vessel. The alien captain expected an easy victory. Instead, the human ship fought with unpredictable tactics, using asteroid fields and gravity wells to its advantage. It managed to cripple 2 cruisers before slipping away into hyperspace. The Empire was shocked. This was not supposed to happen. By all logic, the humans should have been destroyed instantly. Reports began to pour in. Small human fleets were appearing in border systems, harassing supply lines, raiding outposts, and disappearing without a trace. Every encounter revealed a new strategy, a new trick. It was as if the humans were learning during the battle itself, adapting in real time. The High Council grew uneasy. How are they doing this? One counselor demanded during an emergency meeting. Their ships are crude, their numbers are few, and yet they win. A military scientist explained the terrifying truth. It's not their ships or their weapons. It's their minds. Humans think differently. They are unpredictable. When one plan fails, they invent another. When one weapon is destroyed, they build two more. They are chaos given form. The Council refused to believe it. They doubled down, sending larger and larger fleets to crush the human rebellion. But every time, the humans adapted. Every defeat only made them stronger. On the human side, a quiet determination began to spread. Generals, scientists, and leaders from every colony worked together, united by one simple truth. The Empire would never allow them to live free. If humanity wanted to survive, they would have to fight. A human admiral stood before a group of young pilots, his face lit by the red glow of tactical screens. "They see us as weak," he said, voice steady and calm. "They think our bodies are fragile, our ships are crude, our species unworthy of the stars. Let them think that, because when the time comes, their arrogance will be their downfall." The pilots saluted, fire burning in their eyes. Humanity's growth was not just technological. They began to master psychological warfare as well. The Empire's commanders were trained to fight predictable, orderly battles. They followed strict formations and carefully planned strategies. Humans ignored these rules completely. They attacked at random times and in unexpected places. Sometimes they struck supply lines, cutting off resources. Other times they attacked key worlds, only to vanish before reinforcements could arrive. They even leaked false information, tricking the Empire into sending fleets to empty star systems while the real attack struck elsewhere. Alien soldiers began to whisper in fear. To them, humans were becoming monsters, appearing from nowhere and striking without warning. Some even claimed that humans could smell fear, that they fought harder when their enemies were most terrified. The turning point came during the Battle of Aelio's Rift. A small human fleet of just 12 ships faced an Imperial force of 50. The aliens expected to crush them easily. Instead, the humans used a tactic no one had seen before. They detonated a series of charges hidden inside a nearby asteroid belt, creating a storm of debris that blinded the Imperial sensors. Then, using stealth drives and precise coordination, they ambushed the alien ships from behind. By the time the dust cleared, the Imperial fleet was gone. The humans had lost only 3 ships. The galaxy trembled at the news. For the first time in thousands of years, the Empire had suffered a humiliating defeat. Across alien worlds, whispers spread like wildfire. The humans are coming. They cannot be stopped. Merchants began secretly trading with humans, sensing profit in the growing rebellion. Other species, long oppressed by the Empire, began to hope. If the humans could challenge the Empire, perhaps they too could be free. The Emperor, now deeply worried, gathered his closest advisors. His voice was sharp, filled with anger and fear. "We underestimated them once. Never again. They are no longer insects to be crushed underfoot. They are predators, and if we do not destroy them now, they will devour us all." The order was given. Prepare the full might of the Empire's navy. The humans were to be eradicated, no matter the cost. But as the alien fleets gathered, humanity was already one step ahead. They had been preparing for this moment all along. The war for the galaxy was about to begin. The galaxy burned. Across the star charts of the Empire, glowing red markers began to appear. Human colonies, trade routes, and outposts. To the alien High Council, these marks were nothing more than a list of future graves. The Emperor's command was simple: erase humanity completely. And so the Empire unleashed its fury. From hundreds of shipyards, the mightiest war fleet in history gathered. Titan-class dreadnoughts, swift battlecruisers, and swarms of assault carriers assembled under one banner. The galaxy trembled as the largest armada ever seen prepared to move. Alien admirals were certain of their victory. This war will be over in a single campaign, one declared confidently. The humans will kneel before they even understand what is happening. Their arrogance blinded them. The first invasion struck the Orion frontier, a chain of human colonies on the edge of explored space. Imperial warships descended like a tidal wave, blotting out the stars. Entire cities were vaporized in seconds. Human defense fleets, though brave, were hopelessly outnumbered and forced to retreat. To the Empire, it seemed like proof of their superiority. They celebrated early victories, broadcasting images of burning human worlds across the galaxy. The message was clear: resist, and you will be destroyed. But while the Empire celebrated, humanity was already planning their counterattack. Human leaders met in secret aboard the Resolute, a massive mobile command station hidden inside a dense nebula. Holographic star maps glowed in the dark war room as generals and admirals debated furiously. Some wanted to fight the Empire head-on. Others urged retreat, focusing on protecting the core colonies. Finally, Admiral Elias Varan, a scarred veteran with ice-cold eyes, spoke. His voice was calm, but his words cut like a blade. "We cannot outgun them," he said. "We cannot outnumber them, but we can outthink them. The Empire fights by rules carved in stone. We will break those rules." He revealed a daring plan. Instead of defending every world, humanity would abandon some colonies, drawing Imperial forces deeper into unfamiliar territory. Then, using guerrilla tactics, small human fleets would strike the Empire's supply lines, communication hubs, and shipyards. It was a dangerous gamble, but it played to humanity's greatest strength, adaptability. The plan went into motion. At first, the aliens thought they were winning easily. They marched deeper into human space, conquering abandoned worlds and finding little resistance. The alien admirals grew overconfident, spreading their fleets thinner and thinner to cover more territory. And then the attacks began. Human warships appeared out of nowhere, striking like wolves in the night. They targeted vulnerable supply convoys, destroying food shipments and fuel depots. Imperial fleets found themselves stranded in deep space with no reinforcements. Communications networks went dark as human hackers infiltrated alien systems, sending false orders that lured entire fleets into ambushes. In one infamous battle, a single human frigate disguised itself as Imperial wreckage. When a massive alien dreadnought approached to investigate, the frigate unleashed a surprise attack, disabling the dreadnought's engines and leaving it adrift. The humans didn't even destroy it. They simply left it floating, a message of humiliation for all to see. Alien morale began to crumble. Soldiers whispered in fear, speaking of humans as if they were demons rather than flesh and blood. "They don't fight like us," one alien captain stammered after surviving an ambush. "They don't fear death. They fight like predators hunting prey." Entire worlds under Imperial rule began to question their loyalty. Species that had been slaves to the Empire for centuries began to hope. If the humans could resist, maybe they could too. The Empire grew desperate. They launched a massive offensive to crush the rebellion once and for all. This time, they concentrated their forces into a single, unstoppable spear aimed at the heart of human space. The goal: capture Earth itself and shatter humanity's spirit. But Admiral Varan had anticipated this move. As the alien armada surged forward, humanity set the stage for their most daring trap yet. They deliberately leaked false intelligence, convincing the aliens that Earth's defense fleet was weak and scattered. The alien admirals took the bait, charging forward with reckless speed. When they reached the Sol system, they found not a weak defense, but hell itself. The battle began with sudden silence. The aliens expected to see swarms of human ships waiting to meet them head-on. Instead, they found empty space. Confused, they spread out to search for the defenders. That was when the mines detonated. Hidden explosive devices, thousands of them, ignited across the battlefield, tearing through the tightly packed alien formation. Before the survivors could recover, human warships emerged from behind asteroids and moons, striking with perfect coordination. Human ships moved like a living organism, fast and unpredictable. They didn't fight in neat lines or rigid formations like the Empire. Instead, they attacked in small, flexible groups, adapting on the fly to every enemy movement. The aliens tried to regroup, but every order they gave was intercepted and scrambled by human electronic warfare. Imperial ships fired on each other by mistake, chaos spreading like wildfire. The battle raged for hours. By the end, half the alien fleet was destroyed, and the rest fled in panic. Earth remained untouched. For the first time in recorded history, the Empire had suffered a defeat so public and devastating that their citizens began to doubt their leaders. The illusion of invincibility was shattered. In the aftermath, the alien Emperor stared at a holographic display of the ruined fleet. His hands trembled with rage and fear. This was supposed to be a lesson to the galaxy, he growled. Instead, we have taught them that humans cannot be broken. A cold realization settled over the Imperial Palace. The war was no longer just a campaign. It was a fight for survival, and humanity was winning the psychological battle. Across human space, victory celebrations erupted. But Admiral Varan did not smile. He looked at the casualty reports, his face hard as stone. This was only the beginning, he muttered. The Empire will return, stronger and angrier, and we must be ready. Far from the front lines, other alien species watched closely. Some trembled in fear. Others whispered of rebellion. The humans were proving something dangerous. The Empire could bleed. The age of unquestioned alien rule was ending, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The Empire staggered, but it did not fall. In the weeks following their crushing defeat near Earth, the alien High Council gathered in their grand hall. The chamber was vast, its ceilings covered in ancient carvings depicting the Empire's rise to power. Now those carvings seemed to mock them, reminders of victories long past. The Emperor stood at the center, his silver skin gleaming under the cold light. His voice was calm, but his eyes burned with fury. We underestimated them, he admitted, his claws curling into fists. We treated them like insects. Now they swarm across our territories, biting at our heels. That ends the day. Orders were given. Every surviving ship was to be refitted. Every soldier conscripted. The Empire would raise a second Grand Armada, larger than the first, to crush humanity with sheer overwhelming force. Across alien worlds, factories thundered day and night, forging weapons and armor. Billions of alien citizens were told to prepare for total war. The Empire's propaganda declared victory inevitable. But beneath the speeches and banners, fear lingered. The humans were still out there, watching, waiting, and learning. Humanity, meanwhile, was not idle. The victory at Earth had bought them precious time. Time they used to prepare something the Empire could not imagine. Deep within a hidden shipyard orbiting a black hole, engineers and scientists worked around the clock on a top-secret project. They called it Project Nemesis. Even Admiral Varan, the architect of humanity's guerrilla campaigns, was astonished when he first saw the prototype. Floating in the dark void was a ship unlike anything that had ever existed, a colossal warship the size of a city. Its sleek, angular design looked almost alien, yet every part of it was built by human hands. But its true power was not its size or its weapons. It was its engine. Using experimental technology stolen and modified from the Empire, the Nemesis-class warship could bend space, allowing it to jump instantly across vast distances. It could appear anywhere at any time, striking deep behind enemy lines before vanishing like a ghost. With this, Varan whispered, staring at the massive vessel, "We won't just fight them. We will make them fear the very darkness of space." The Empire had no knowledge of this secret weapon. Confident in their overwhelming numbers, they launched their second grand offensive. Hundreds of Imperial fleets surged forward, burning through human colonies like wildfire. Planets fell one after another, their skies lit by plasma fire. Human forces retreated strategically, never engaging in full-scale battle. To the aliens, it seemed like humanity was finally breaking. Their admirals boasted of an easy victory, but they were walking into a trap. The decisive moment came at Vega Prime, a key star system at the crossroads of human and Imperial territory. The Empire sent its largest fleet yet, over 500 warships, including dozens of dreadnoughts. Their goal was to destroy Vega Prime shipyards and cut off humanity's supply lines. When the Imperial fleet arrived, they found a small human defense force waiting. Barely 50 ships, weak, scattered, clearly no match for the Empire's might. The alien admiral laughed. Pathetic. End them. The Empire's ships moved forward, weapons charging. And then, space itself tore open. A massive rift appeared above the battlefield, glowing with a strange, rippling light. From within, a shadow emerged, the Nemesis. The alien crew stayed in disbelief as a monstrous human warship appeared from nowhere. Its engines roared like thunder, and its hull gleamed black as night. What is that thing?" An alien officer gasped. The admiral's voice cracked with fear. "Impossible. No ship that size could move like that." The Nemesis unleashed its weapons. Beams of concentrated energy lanced through the void, slicing Imperial dreadnoughts in half with a single shot. Missile swarms erupted from hidden launch bays, weaving through enemy formations before detonating in blinding flashes. Human warships surged forward, coordinated perfectly by the Nemesis's advanced AI. The Imperial fleet tried to regroup, but their communications were jammed, their formations shattered. The humans didn't just fight, they hunted. The battle raged for hours. Every time the Empire began to gain the upper hand, the Nemesis would vanish, reappearing behind their lines to strike from an unexpected angle. It was as if the humans were everywhere at once, turning the battlefield into a nightmare. Panic spread through the alien ranks. Captains screamed conflicting orders. Entire squadrons broke formation and fled, only to be ambushed by hidden human forces. Finally, as the sun of Vega Prime burned red in the distance, the alien flagship was surrounded. Admiral Varan himself hailed the alien admiral. "This war ends here," Varan said coldly. "Leave now, and take a message to your emperor. Humanity bows to no one." The alien admiral refused, swearing to fight to the last ship. Varan simply nodded. "Then you will die in darkness." Moments later, the Nemesis fired its main cannon. The Imperial flagship was obliterated in a single, blinding shot. When the surviving alien ships fled the battlefield, they left behind more than wreckage. They left behind fear. News of the defeat spread like wildfire across the galaxy. For the first time in millennia, the Empire's enemies saw a glimmer of hope. Oppressed species whispered in secret, "If the humans can stand against the Empire, maybe we can too." Rebellions erupted on distant worlds, stretching the Empire's forces thin. The Emperor's dream of total domination began to crumble. In the war room aboard the Nemesis, Admiral Varan studied a holographic map of the galaxy. Human-controlled space glowed blue, while Imperial territory burned red. A young officer approached, excitement in her voice. "Admiral, we've done it. Vega Prime is free. The Empire is retreating." Varan didn't smile. His gaze was cold and sharp. "This was just one battle," he said. "The Empire will return, and next time they will come with everything they have." He turned to the massive viewport, where the stars stretched endlessly. "Let them come. We have shown them that humans are not prey. We are the hunters now." In the Imperial Palace, the Emperor listened to the reports in stunned silence. The once proud leader of the galaxy now faced the unthinkable truth. His empire was no longer the dominant power. A new predator had risen from the shadows of a small blue world. As he stared into the void beyond his throne room window, a single thought chilled him to the core. "We have awakened something we cannot control."